Hello, in this short video I have filmed some of the plumbing first fix work that still has to be done after the central heating and plumbing first fix pipe work is completed. Here I'm installing the cooker extractor ducting. As you can clearly see, I'm having to do this extractor ducting using a flat channel ducting system. The reason for using this flat channel ducting system is because the hob in the kitchen is going to be in an island that's in the middle of the kitchen area. Therefore the extractor ducting has got to come directly over the hob, and with these engineered joists we're a bit pushed for space, and this flat ducting system, although not ideal, is our only solution. I'm using the flat channel ducting on the main run, then at each end where it terminates into the cooker hood and it goes through the wall, I'm converting it back to a round ducting. This flat channel ducting is quite installer friendly, as long as I make sure I cut everything square and use duct tape, the proper duct tape to join it with. I think it could be quite effective. When I've got the extractor duct in roughly where the cooker hood is going to be, I then concentrate on the pilot hole that I'm going to drill through the external wall where the duct will terminate. When I've located the pilot hole, I adjust the scaffolding to accommodate my weight and get the core drill and start drilling. I'm not wearing this baseball cap backwards because I think it looks cool. It's just that I need to wear a hat to protect my bald head from the sun and the dust. And with a baseball cap, if I have the peak the right way around, it tends to obscure my vision slightly, and I have a tendency to walk into the scaffolding. Anyway, I'm drilling the hole to receive the extractor ducting, and the core bit keeps getting jammed. Now, ideally, the dust should clear and we shouldn't get any jamming, but what's happening is the blocks are so wet inside, I'm not getting dust, I'm getting mainly mud, and it's clogging up the bit and making it stick. Of course, there's always a scaffold pole right where you don't need it. But I suppose at times they do come in handy. When I'm removing this concrete plug from the core bit, I can actually see that it's damp, and when I put my finger in there I can see there's no dust, it's just like mud. So here there's a little bit of cavity wall insulation hindering the drilling, so I'm going to remove a little bit of it and then put it back afterwards. The cavity on this property is 100mm and it's full of rock wool insulation. Here you can see how really wet the blockwork is. I mean, it's just absolute mud, no dust. And I'm just putting the cavity wall insulation back in, and there's the hole from inside to out. So I'm going to put a bend on that pipe there with a straight bit of pipe, and it's out here. This is the next day, and the plasterers have just completed their scratch coat of render on the outside walls. This plumber's job, me, is to put all the extraction in for the kitchen, all the bathrooms and the cloakroom. And here I'm just showing you the outlet for the top floor bathroom. We've had to put it horizontally because we can't go vertically through the flat roof with the extraction. Here are the extraction ducts for the cloakroom, which is 100mm, and the utility room, which is 150mm. This is the extraction ducting for one of the bathrooms, and that terminates on a tile vent, and down at ceiling level I drill a hole in a bit of board and make it easy for the electrician to fit his fan. So once all the bathroom extractors are done, it's time to fit the shower trays, and here I am. I'm just giving you an example of one of the shower trays of the 4 that are in this house. And this is how I fit the low profile shower trays at the first fix stage. I firstly unwrap the shower tray very carefully, and then when it's unwrapped I just check it for any obvious signs of damage. Once I'm happy that the shower tray is not damaged or there's no imperfections in it, I proceed to mark it out. I have a sweep up, and then I mark out its position on the floor of the bathroom. As with all the shower trays, prior to bringing them upstairs, I've checked all the measurements for the wastes to make sure that the wastes don't or aren't fouled by a joist, because we cannot notch these joists in any way, shape or form because they're engineered. But I still double check to make sure the wastes aren't obstructed by any joists. So I put the shower tray where it's going to go, and I mark on the floor its position. Then I get it up off the floor, which is proven to be difficult in this instance because I can't grab a hold of anything. Once I've got it up, I just put it somewhere safe for the time being. Next, I get the waste system out that's been supplied with the shower tray, make sure it's the right one, and then cut the hole in the floor to accommodate it. It takes a little bit of assembly, and the instructions are just put to one side and all kept safe for the customer when they move in. Once the waste system's assembled, I put it in position and mark around it, get the jigsaw and cut the hole. Once I've cut the hole for the shower waste system, I get the shower board and I put it on the floor where the shower tray is going to sit, and I cut it to size. Now, the reason I fit the shower board to the floor, or it could be a cement-based backer board, is to separate the tile adhesive that I'm going to bed the shower tray down onto. I want to separate it from the chipboard flooring. I'm not sure if the instructions are clear on this or it's just a thing that I do, but in my opinion the chipboard flooring can bounce, and tile adhesive doesn't stick readily to chipboard flooring, and so therefore I think it could all come loose. So as a precaution, I always fix shower board or backer board to the floor prior to bedding down the shower tray onto the tile adhesive. Here I'm just fitting some 20mm spacers to the stud-work so that I push the shower tray up to the spacers. This will then allow the plasterboard, when they tack the stud-work, to go down behind where the shower tray is fitted. We definitely don't want a cut raw edge of plasterboard sitting on top of a shower tray. So here's a shower tray after the plasterboard work's being done. As you can see, the tacker's done a good job. He's pushed the plasterboard down past the top of the shower tray. This allows me to get a decent silicone seal between the shower tray and the plasterboard before the tiling work starts. Here I'm just fitting the shower waste system to the shower tray itself. Now I always use silicone on the flange that sits within the shower tray, and underneath I put some silicone on the rubber. I also put a little bit of silicone on the threads because I sometimes think that the water can travel up through the threads if the waste is full. I just check that the shower tray is going to sit in place now that the waste is actually fitted to it. When I'm happy that the shower tray is going to fit, I go downstairs and I mix the tile adhesive that I'm going to bed the shower tray down onto. prior to putting the tile adhesive down, I just check the floor's level, and there are no high spots or low spots that I have to be aware of. The reason the shower tray is bedded down on tile adhesive is partially to keep it in place, but also because it's a way of getting the shower tray level. That's what we're aiming to do. By bedding it on the tile adhesive, it gives us a chance to get it level, whereas if it was just down onto the floor, if the floor or the shower tray was distorted in any way, we would never get it level and it would rock. So that's the whole idea of bedding it down on tile adhesive. I think the manufacturers actually recommend sand and cement, but I never use sand and cement. Once the shower tray's bedded down and I'm happy that it's level and it's in the right position, I then go downstairs and I locate the waste pipe that it's going to connect to and the trap ultimately. And here it is, the shower waste, and I'm showing with the blue arrow the pipe it's got to connect into. And here's the pipe which goes all the way to the saw pipe that I've previously installed, and I just connect the two together. Once they're connected together and I'm happy, I get a few gallons of water and put it down the shower, on the shower tray, make sure it runs away and there's no pooling in the shower tray itself, there's no faults in it, and the waste system in actual fact is not leaking at all. So I check it and double check it, and in a couple of days I'll check it again. Once I'm happy that all the shower trays have been fitted correctly and there's no problems with them, it's time to cover them up to protect them from other trade damage. And so I set about doing that, making up some framework, fixing it to the floor, then cutting some boarding of some description, and just cover the shower trays up. In this instance, the builder supplied me with some OSB boarding, which is perfectly adequate just as a bit of protection, and I put some insulation down there just to stop any flexing of the boarding. I push the boarding up to the 20mm spacers that I mentioned earlier, and then once the boarding's fixed down I remove the spacers so that the tackers can put some plasterboard down behind the shower trays. So now what I'm doing, I'm fitting what we call noggins to accommodate all the basins and radiators and towel rails. I'm just showing you on one of these bathrooms exactly what we do. It's just basically putting some fixings in so that we can just screw the radiators and the basin cabinets and what have you directly to the walls without having any problems. For this job I just tend to use whatever's available around the site. It doesn't have to be anything special as long as I can get a fixing into it. So this is what one of the bathrooms looks like when it's fully knocked out and protected. Here you can see one of the showers that I've fitted within the thickness of a blockwork wall. The pipework that I've chased in has been covered by tile backer board. This gives the pipework room to move and also protects it from the adhesive that the dry liners use to stick the plasterboard. So that's it, but I thought I'd just show you once again. They've been busy on the outside whilst I've been busy on the inside, and as you can see there's quite a lot of work been done. They've now got it ready, the scaffold's down, and they've got one scratch coat on the outside wall. The guttering's up, and we've got this brush stuff in the guttering because it's a very kind of leafy area. There's some trees around which are constantly giving off leaves. That's basically it. The lead's finally been completed on the cheeks of the dormer, or the sides of the dormer if you like, and it looks good. That means the scaffolding can come down. But yeah, in general, they've really been getting on with it. It's just the finishing bits and pieces now on the outside. The guttering is aluminium. Basically, the gutter operatives have got a roll of aluminium, the right colour for the guttering, in the back of their van, and they put it through a machine which forms it to the right shape and length that they require. And if you've wondered how they get a 6 metre length up onto the scaffolding without bending it, carry on watching this video. How many men does it take? I think it takes 7. 2 electricians, 3 gutter operatives, the building boss, and of course me filming it. If you've reached this far in this video, I commend you. I wonder, if you haven't already, would you consider subscribing? It is free and it helps give incentive to create more content. Thank you. Of course, once all the K-render was finished and the guttering was up, it was this plumber's job to fit all the rainwater pipes. You can see they've been very busy on the outside of the property. All the scaffolding's down, all the K-render's finished, and now the builder can finally get on with putting in the paths and the patios. And if you have subscribed, I thank you for your subscription. So the next video, if you're interested, will be of me installing the underfloor heating in this property.